Aslan Karatsev has had a brilliant start to 2021 with a stunning run to the semi-finals of the Australian Open, where he lost to the eventual champion Novak Djokovic. He won his first ATP Tour doubles title last week with Andrei Rublev in Doha, making his debut in Dubai and through to the quarterfinals. It's Aslan Karatsev. And his opponent is our 16th seed, Jannik Sinner of Italy. Jannik Sinner is also making his debut in Dubai. He knocked the 4th seed out of the tournament in the 3rd round and comes here in great form. He ended 2020 by winning the Sofia Open title and started 2021 by lifting the Melbourne One trophy. At a career-high world ranking of 32, it is Jannik Sinner.
Back for more on the centre court. Barry Milne's here alongside Colin Fleming, who's come back for some more now, joining me in the comms booth, and looking forward, I'm sure, to seeing what Sinner can do today, indeed what Karatsev can do as well, because two great stories for different reasons in a way. We've known a lot about Sinner for a while now, and he keeps impressing even though he's still only 19 years of age. Carried outside the top 100 at the start of the year, and yet now burst through that level, burst through the top 50 on the strength of what he achieved in Australia, Colin. And this week, I mean, to follow up, you know, as strongly as he had is, again, hugely impressive from him.
Yeah, I think it's very impressive from Karatsev. You know, we saw the tennis he produced in Australia, the first ever Grand Slam debutant to make it to the semi-finals. He'll be a trivia question for years to come, but you know, to be backing it up is very impressive. You know, people might have predicted him to struggle off the back of that, but this is going to be a really interesting match today, as you say.
Same conditions, a couple of reminders. 4 minutes warm-up shot, please. 25 seconds between points. We have the Hawkeye, make it clear when challenged, especially if you stop the points. All the towels, you have the boxes, you go for it black, grey, is that okay? And I suggest you put the 4 towels to use all the boxes to make it simple for you guys, because it's very fast. So. Any questions? ATP, map mode, ATP. Map mode, you'll see.
So the boy in blue against the man in green and white. And it will be a first meeting. Aslan Karatsev of Russia against the 16th seed from Italy, the youngster that is Jannik Sinner. What a talent in the young man, and you're seeing it emerge tournament by tournament. There they are in the quarter-final bracket, with one of them to go through to face either Marton Fucsovics, who's been such a hard man this week, or the remarkable Russian that is Andrei Rublev, on a great run in these ATP 500s, 22 wins and counting for him. It really has produced a great field in the last 8, this event this week. And this, one of the guys who has worked hard to get here, and he's been responsible for 2 upsets already. Saw off Gerasimov in the opening round, and then to get the better of Britain's Dan Evans, the 12th seed. Took 3 sets to do that, took 3 sets to beat the 17th seed Lorenzo Sonigo yesterday, but each time just showing his steel, using his power off the ground, that massive forehand he has, but also the backhand strength as well. And the ranking, well, you can forget about the triple figures now. He's very much double figures, and can he get himself way up towards the top 10? Certainly 42, a career high. In fact, I make it that on the live ranking, he's already burst through that figure of top 40. I think if he carries on, should certainly establish himself in the top 30 before too long. But he's got to deal with a player who has got the very top of the game in his sights, one would imagine, in the long run. That is the route, just confirming those upsets he's had. What's impressed you about him this week particularly? Anything that's really stood out for you?
Well,
or just the fact that he has followed up what he did in Australia?
I touched on the fact that he's continuing to play good tennis. Now that people will know more about him, you know, that's always the thing when you're relatively unknown quantity. People don't really know your strengths and weaknesses. That can be an advantage as a player, but people know a lot more about him now. And you know, that win against Dan Evans, in particular, Dan is a player that's been in form on the tour, and I thought he might have come through that one, but a tough 3-set win for Karatsev, showing he's playing a really high level of tennis. But well, there's two men on the court playing a really high level of tennis. There's no doubt about that. Sinner's form this week, and in particular his previous win, we saw the rerun there of some of that match with Bautista Agut. You know, the Spaniard never gives you a match. He doesn't give you a single point. You've got to play quality tennis to beat him. And another impressive win, another feather in his cap for Jannik Sinner as he continues his meteoric rise. As we see there, the ranking incline. He's on the up, isn't he?
Very much so. And of course, for him, only 2 matches so far this week, but both of them going the distance. Had to come from a set down against Sasha Bublik in the second round. And then the victory yesterday against Roberto Bautista Agut. Lovely quote from him. Asked about his efforts so far this year, and he said, well, compared to last year, I have improved a lot, but there is so much to do. It's like trying to be a chef now. He said, now I'm peeling carrots and potatoes, but at least I'm in the kitchen. Last year, I was outside the kitchen. So if basically he's describing his game as peeling carrots and potatoes, I'd love to see, you know, what he's like when he's absolutely making, you know, beautiful desserts and all sorts of wonders. But
I certainly don't peel carrots the way he plays tennis, that's for sure. Now, it's a good analogy, though, isn't it? It shows you he's got his head screwed on, and he knows that he's got a lot of work ahead of him, despite how good he is already. No surprise to see it's the first meeting between the two. Won't really know much about each other. They're bringing good form into this first meeting, so they should both be very much looking forward to it.
A momentary pause before we move into our second match of the day. A little breeze, certainly a lot of heat in the air. It's warm late afternoon now in Dubai. Been up towards the mid-30s Celsius, the real feel this afternoon. How hot will this match become? Barry Mills alongside Colin Fleming as we continue coverage, quarterfinals day. And it will be Jannik Sinner to start off the first meeting with the Russian wildcard, Aslan Karatsev. Trusty serve and the forehand, quickly putting away another brief point.
Yeah, nice clean start as we see Sinner's team there. His coach with him this week, Andrea Volpini, at the front. Claudio Zamaglia. Vizio sitting further back, of course. Sinner's development very much still overseen and driven by Riccardo Piatti. Yeah, Volpini trusted with the travelling duties as well. Obviously thought high of by Piatti.
And already 4 first serves, 4 points, 1 first game on the board for this teenager. Doesn't turn 20 until August of this year. We switch much attention to the 27-year-old Russian. What a run it was in Melbourne to beat the likes of Diego Schwartzman. That was the match that really made us take note of what he was about. That was in the third round. He followed that up, coming from 2 sets down against Felix Auger-Aliassime, and then got the better of Grigor Dimitrov as well.
There's Karatsev's team.
Jacek up there, his coach.
That's old faithful for Karatsev, the backhand cross-court, rock-solid shot. It's his first point on the board. Quite a classical sort of Russian style of play. Likes to hit the ball big, likes to hit the ball flat. Played a lot of indoor tennis, of course, now young. That's great depth from Sinner. He's the one that's settled into a rhythm quicker in this match. A nice clean service game and hitting the ball big there.
And pressure straight away applied to the Russian serve facing break points. Played his opening match on the centre court against Gerasimov. Described by Daniel Medvedev, isn't he, back in the ATP Cup as their Russian secret weapon. The secret's out now. More players will get an idea of what to do to try and get the better of him. And that is a painful opening game for him on serve. The double fault costing him, and so it gives Sinner just the springboard into this encounter that he would want. 2-love already.
Yeah, not a great game from Karatsev, it has to be said. A couple of unforced errors and then the double fault on the break point. An absolutely perfect start from Jannik Sinner's point of view.
Again, the force of shots coming from the Italian doing damage. We were talking, Lee and I were talking, he was telling us about the pace of serve and how strong this guy's shot has been. I think second only to Shapovalov this week in the average power of his forehand, over 130 kilometers per hour. That serve at over 200.
Yeah, he hits the ball big, Sinner, and you know he's stolen a march here on Karatsev in this quarterfinal, hasn't he? And he's got to just keep his foot on the accelerator. Always important. You know you're up against quality opposition. Get as far ahead as you can before they settle. That's big tennis, isn't it? Serve and forehand, really, really effective, repeatable.
And it's a big forehand with plenty on it, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of topspin going in there as well. It's not kind of perhaps the flatter hit of some like Bautista Agut yesterday, whom he faced. That's 12 points to 2 in Sinner's favour. It is a very steady, strong start from him. And already 3 games to the good.
Start for Sinner, isn't it? He never really gets overly emotional on the court, either in a positive or a negative manner. You saw the fist pumps. He's obviously happy with the start, but yeah, a lot's been made of his mentality, hasn't it? You know, how mature he is, despite, you know, still only being 19. And for me, that's what's so exciting about him, as much as the way he hits the ball and his physicality. You know, that mindset. You think of the very best players, they're a little bit different, you know, in who they are as people, you know, and the lengths they're prepared to go to, maybe the outlook they have on the sport, their own careers. And that feels the case with Sinner. He's different, he's unique, isn't he?
Certainly so. So impressed already in how he has managed to handle things. The way he deals with adversity as well as pressure. Late in the afternoon, but sun still shining on Jannik Sinner, this Italian phenomenon. Making fine work through this week. His first here at the Dubai Duty Free Tennis Championships. Just continue what you were saying at the sit down about the mental side of things from Sinner's point of view. On the one hand, dealing with adversity the way he does, that he just sort of takes it on the chin, he doesn't get over emotional, but also then the shot he plays after a reverse, as it were, the point he comes up with is often so impressive.
Yeah, I think it says a lot for Jannik Sinner about, you know, where a lot is made of potentially where he can go, but I think it says a lot about where he sees himself going. You know, when you see him have a big win against someone like Bautista Agut at 19, most people will be on their knees and, you know, huge celebrations. It's almost like just another step in the journey for him. Obviously got a good team around him, you know, keeping his feet on the ground and stay focused on the process of working day in, day out.
Something a bit better from the Russian with his serve. He's just moving there would suggest that the efforts made already to get this far. He hasn't quite shaken off some fatigue there. Just needs to just get into this match. A few more games it might take him. That might cost him this set, certainly.
Both players' last 2 matches have been 3-setters, haven't they? Battles. Karatsev played an extra match. First round straight set win over Karatsev, but still it's time on the court.
First game then for the wild card in this quarter-final. Tough prospect for him facing Sinner, and indeed for both of them a tough prospect ahead. One of them to get through to tomorrow's semis. It'll be either against Fucsovics or Rublev. Martin Fucsovics, who's been a marathon man this week. I mean, I do think he's kind of playing on fumes a bit. He's already talked about his fatigue, the amount of matches, the workload he's carried into Dubai, but he still keeps coming up with wins in 3 sets. And then Rublev, of course, just scorching everyone in the 500s.
Yeah, Fucsovics looked toast in the opening round, didn't he, against Pospisil? Was a set 4-1 down, I think, and somehow came back to win that, and has you know, had 2 3-setters off the back of it. So, you know, he will be tired, there's no doubt. But when you're through to quarterfinals and you know you're winning, amazing how you can just keep running on fumes almost. I'm sure whenever this tournament finishes for Fucsovics, he'll need a few days off. Serving very nicely so far, Sinner. 9 of 11 first serves, found their target, and you can see there the second serve is, he's got plenty on it as well.
Trying to follow in the footsteps of Shapovalov today with a mighty display on serve. Feeling it, isn't he, already? Just this whole process of coming through those matches to this quarter-final clash. Feeling the weight of things right now. Nicely taken.
Yeah, you could hear the grunt from Karatsev coming in, trying to get himself going physically. Interesting to see him just edge round and play this middle ball on his backhand. His forehand can do damage as well, but the backhand is the one that he trusts implicitly. Beautiful inside-out backhand, really, in the end.
You're shaking your head in almost disbelief. Is so good, isn't it? Those forehands in succession, every one a winner. And it is Sinner who leads 4-1. Generates the power off that shot, particularly the forehand. And the control he's got on it in these conditions. Obviously now the 2 matches he's played here really settled into what's required in these on this slick court, but also the fact that he does put a lot of top on it, it gives him a little more margin for error, doesn't it? And it's just seeming to suit him very well indeed.
Yeah, it does more damage as well. When you think about it, you know, a 100-mile-an-hour ball that's flat and one that's loaded with spin will be quicker. You know, the one with spin, when it reaches the opponent, it leaps off the court, and it's a heavy ball that he's hitting with consistency as well. Karatsev looking a little jaded, isn't he, in these early stages? I'm interested to see how that develops.
Pretty comfortable where he's sitting right now, I would imagine. Obviously a long way yet from booking his place in a semi-final here, but couldn't ask much more of the start he's made, considering he was tested yesterday, severely so by Roberto Bautista Agut. And I love the fact that he's also said after that how, you know, it's the kind of match he wants to be involved in, that it's forging even greater steel in his own game, playing a match like that and winning it.
Yeah, so the Irish village there looking a little sleepier than it did yesterday with St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
I'm sure he'd love many more of that type of point, Karatsev, if he is feeling a little bit jaded physically. He's trying to get himself going here, isn't he? Playing consistently now at a level that's a step up from where he was, mainly in the Challenger Tour.
Again, cleanly taken, nice move up to that ball. Having got some width into the point early on. And he certainly gets plenty of marks for perseverance in terms of finally qualifying for a major. Was it first 9 attempts? Didn't happen for him. But once he got in, boy, what did he do then?
Yeah, qualified in the Middle East, of course.
Yep.
Qualifying taking place in Doha. He spent a significant amount of time already this season, hasn't he, Karatsev? He had that qualifying in Doha, got himself onto one of the charter flights, and then his very next tournament, Doha again, lost second round to Dominic Thiem in a tough three-setter before coming over to Dubai.
Second double fault. Katanuni not sure from the umpire's chair. But it was too far. Well, he's taken care of that one well enough, despite the double fault previously. Just, yeah, working his way in. He's not raced out of the blocks. Sinner, certainly the one who got in the early sprint, but just the one break at the moment. Of arm wrestlers there, forehand to forehand.
Yeah, that point was played in about a 3-meter width of the court, wasn't it? Pretty central. Ball being hit with blistering pace. And once again, Sinner coming out on top.
There's still the look of a schoolboy about him, and yet he's a young master, isn't he, at work? I mean, just so impressive. Sorry, impressive is a word we use a lot about this guy, but I'm sure everybody watching him has been that already.
Yeah, and he's clearly, you know, done his homework ahead of this match as well, and him and his team is, I'm sure, Piatti not in Dubai, but I'm sure he's watching every match, and helping him prepare.
And prepared to work, you know, obviously very hard, but also to learn and listen and adjust where needed.
Coach Andrea Volpini with him this week. He'll have been scouting opponents, etc. And you can see at times he's going big into the Karatsev forehand, drawing errors. First 2 points in this game, one with the ground shot, one with the first serve.
Fortunate, certainly for the Russians' point of view.
Yeah, a big slice of luck. You could see again Sinner directing the traffic deep into that Karatsev forehand. He was on top of the point. That was a nice change there from Karatsev, getting himself a backhand, and then, well, huge slice of luck, wasn't it, really? Sinner's team, Andrea Volpini.
Wow, that is a fabulous return. All of a sudden, having gradually worked his way up to speed here, that comes back in a flash, and it brings up a break-back point for the Russian. Sinner think a bit about where he places this one. He went back at the forehand, though. That is like standing up and saying, well, OK, you did it once, but what can you do from this side?
Yeah, exactly right. I think Karatsev probably read the wide serve and the 30-all point. I didn't quite hit his spot, Sinner, but you know, clear where he wanted to go on the big point there, wasn't it? That was a rocket into the forehand.
So much of that yesterday against Bautista Good. When he needed the big serve, he found it. Oh, what an angle he's got there.
They hit an angle there that didn't seem to exist, did it? Right from the middle of the court. It's very rare you'll see a player hit a shot from the middle that lands inside the service box and breaks the sideline.
Extension of his arms. It was almost a go gadget. Nicely timed return. Karatsev clipping that back well. That looks so easy. I don't think Karatsev can believe it, because of his return was pretty decent off a body serve.
That's first strike tennis, isn't it? Neither player looking to, you know, play anything neutral and build the point in any way. First opportunity to get the big hit in is being taken. In a way, he was hunting off the back of that as well, following it in.
Definitely the Russian's best game so far.
He's got his intensity up, hasn't he? Yeah, the first couple of games he wasn't at the races. Got the blood flowing now. So solidly, isn't he? This is the kind of form from Australia.
Yeah.
Hitting big, consistent off both wings, taking time away from opponents. Very composed as well, isn't he?
Second break point against the Sinner serve. And again, he drives that into the forehand side and forces the error off it. Press too far. The punchiness, the punchy nature of the returns from Karatsev. Little backswing, but using that pace so well. Jonas Bjorkman, one of a previous era who did that so well.
Yeah, fantastic returner. Very central this match at the moment, isn't it?
It is.
It's all about power through the court, trying to force each other back.
And he's caught him out, suddenly using the width with that reply. And a big noise from the Russian, turning up to the contest now. And back on serve at 3-4.
I got a real match in our hands now. You just wondered where Karatsev was physically in those opening 5 games. Sinner well on top into that 4-1 lead. Russian is now fully up to speed and looks to have a game to match Sinner, doesn't he? It's going to be an intriguing battle from here.
Great shot from the camera work as well as the player there. Sinner getting stretched out on his backhand side.
Yeah, great pictures, isn't it? Showing the physicality involved to play tennis at this level.
Amazing what the human body can do. Desert air, the breeze through the trees as we continue here with our second quarter-final this year. And it's turning into quite a first set. Karatsev has appeared. He was a little lackluster, laboured at the start. Sinner light and bright on his feet, but he's been forced onto the back foot a bit more, and certainly the Russian now getting real purchase in this contest. 3-4, he'll serve with new balls. Just a lovely stroke of the ball across the court, weighted immaculately there.
He's hitting the thing clean as a whistle, isn't he?
5 forehand winners now from him, 10 winners in total. That's 3 more than Sinner. Disappointed turn away from that as he misses too far. 4 games all.
Yeah, big game for Jannik Sinner now, having been pegged back from 4-1. Karatsev will be looking to get after him here. I just wonder if he can vary the first serve a little bit more, Sinner. He's only winning 64% of first serve points. He has been trying to target the forehand. Perhaps just spread the ball around the box a little bit more. Look to use some swing as well, rather than just power. Another example is, you know, it's big, it's into the forehand, but it's not really out of the hitting zone. Karatsev, just that compact return technique you mentioned, Barry, just blocking it back into play, and you can see there, just 60% of first serve points won. He wants to be much closer to that Karatsev number, you know, getting it around 80.
It's great play from the Russian to use the full court like that, and the skill on the volley to go with what he's doing from the baseline.
Yeah, and this is interesting now because Karatsev well on top of the match. He's actually loving the way Sinner is playing, isn't he? He's loving the pace, sending it back with interest. He's taking over at the moment, Karatsev. Great stuff from the Russian.
So how might Sinner adjust to this? See what he learns today. Healthy serve out wide there.
Yeah, hit the spot a lot better, didn't he? Got the angle, the width. You think of, you know, someone like Novak Djokovic, who obviously stopped Karatsev, that fairy tale run in Melbourne. The way he serves, he's not got the pace that Sinner has. The accuracy to just move the ball around the box, get it swinging, constantly stretching the opponent, starting so many points on top. That was a big chance for Karatsev there. Love to have that one back.
Another positive exclamation from Sinner as he lands another fine serve. So this could relieve a bit of pressure on him after the resurgence from the Russian. Win this game. Win it, he does. And the Russian, for once, turning back with a slightly disappointed look on his face. Sinner, level-headed, and up now 5-4 in the first set.
Yeah, that was disappointing for Karatsev. From love 30, didn't manage to get a single return back into play. Good serve from Sinner at love 30, but then I think that second serve return missed at 15-30. That was a significant moment. This came and went in a flash, but you know, if he gets that point, obviously, then huge pressure on Sinner. So just let him off the hook there.
Karatsev as relaxed as ever, up in the chair. Perhaps just, yeah, having words with the Russian about coaching. Jannik his coach behind the mask, but perhaps saying a little too much.
Yeah, we saw the umpire at the break just having a word with Karatsev. I think possibly a little too much dialogue between player and coach. So no official warning, but just a soft warning, shall we call it. Not sure if he speaks Russian, Kedanuni, but I think reasonable to assume if the coach is talking to the player, it's going to be some kind of, you know, help towards the match. This is just a drop in level, isn't it, from Karatsev at a time we can ill afford it. You know, from 15-30, missed the second serve return at 4-all. He hasn't put a ball in court other than the serve there. Having looked so good as well.
Way out with that serve. Sinner just cleans up the point, having returned off a deep second serve.
Yeah, what a forehand. It can be easy when you've got this much space to just perhaps take your eye off the ball, but just committed to the shot once again, stayed down with it.
He does that well, doesn't he? It's a feature of it again. I mean, he's a tall young man and might grow even higher than 6'2" ultimately. Again, maybe the skier's legs in him, because of course he comes from the Alpine region, northern Italy.
Yeah, very keen downhill skier, wasn't he, until what, 11, 12 years age, something like that. I'm sure he still skis now, and yeah, it's certainly not going to do the leg strength any harm, is it? Maybe I should have done some of that.
Up in the Cairngorms, something like that.
Yeah.
Catches hold well there. Trying to keep in this first set. Needed that.
He certainly did need it. Spaced himself nicely around this ball, and as with Sinner a couple of points prior, really committed to the shot.
Sinner brought back a very good return off a tough serve. But he'll be disappointed that's floated way too long. Game point for the Russian. To reach for that, didn't move the feet quite right to it. Oh, he's missed what was ultimately his chance. Looked like the net cord might have set up Karatsev to win the point with a cleaner hit, but ultimately the Italian will be disappointed he didn't.
Yeah, he had a chance at this volley, didn't he? Yeah, probably thought he had no chance, which is maybe why he didn't make the volley. Wasn't quite prepared for it. He was unlucky with the net cord. It was colossal hitting to take control of the point.
Did struggle with a few of those yesterday as well. Ripped through the backhand, forcing that error.
That's one of the things that's so exciting about him. It's the ability to hit so big, attack off both wings, as well as the serve. Huge backhand there. Another fierce rally. And again, showing us his fighting spirit here as he's trying to stay in this set. Came from a set down in his last round. Again, he's caught up. 5-all. Yeah, Karatsev comes through in a battle of wills there. These guys are absolutely destroying the tennis ball, aren't they? It's heavyweight hitting from the back of the court. A lot of field tennis going on, not many slices. They're both just going for it. First strike tennis, as we say.
Pace of that forehand again, telling. In terms of unforced errors, 8 Karatsev, 6 Sinner. But in terms of forced errors, 16 Karatsev, 14 from the Italian. Sinner had to be pretty sharp there. Karatsev really going at him.
Such a strong guy, isn't he? Built like a bull, Karatsev. Yeah. World #1 calves on tour, I think. Strong legs.
Somewhat reminiscent of Ivan Dodig, that kind of slightly hunched, but you know, yeah, swarthy, very determined, tough as nails look.
Yeah, and he's very dynamic on the baseline as a result, and you know, solid base behind the ground shots, even when pushed wide, can generate pace.
Oh, yes. Sweetly done. That one that catches out so many. The off backhand return.
Yeah, it's a lower percentage return. You're expecting that one down the middle or into your backhand corner as a right-hander, and just glancing it off. Beautiful shot. Very hard to pick that return as well. Same preparation, just delaying the contact a split second.
Again, that clenched fist salute. And when he succeeded in a point, toughed it out. Going to see plenty of that over the next couple of decades, one would imagine. Wisely perhaps taking a little more time just to make sure he's got a firm grip on the racket here. Still game point. Keep his poise and composure. And he does that. That's exactly what he does so well. Again, we see it. Evidence of this guy's tremendous talent and quality. 6-5 it is for Sinner, first set.
That was further evidence of a composure beyond his years, wasn't it? Taking his time, going to the towel, knew that if he made the error at 40-15, he didn't want to play another sloppy point, get dragged back into, you know, a battle for that game. Just made sure he was ready and delivered the big serve. So, very smart match player already at this stage of his career. There's the strength of Karatsev when he's pushed out wide. Solid as a rock.
In the heart of our quarter-final day and coming to crunch time in the first set between Karatsev and Sinner. First meeting for these two. Sinner making the fast start, leading 4-1, but pegged back by the Russian. Perhaps some early fatigue in the match from him, just trying to get up to speed, bring the intensity required to this in contest, but he's got it now.
A nice bit of width there from Karatsev. Few and far between, hasn't it? The variety in this match has been very, high quality, but mainly about power through the court. I think there's an opportunity for both of them if they're able to, just to vary things a little bit. Try and force each other to improvise.
Lovely subtle move up to that ball, wasn't it, and the change of direction.
Yeah, the willingness to come forward again. Yeah, they come to the net twice. Didn't have to play a volley this time. Again, some good width from Karatsev. Possibly something he's just had a little think about, the change of ends.
Tie-break beckons. And again, textbook. Just using the angles after the serve with the forehand, and 6 games all it is. So we come into this tie-break bearing in mind that this week Sinner has already played a couple of tie-breaks, so I think that makes him 8 tie-breaks won, just the 2 lost this year. Karatsev has only played 1 so far this season, which he won. That tiebreak, of course, was the one he took off Dominic Thiem in Doha a week ago, before the Austrian overturned him. Whoops.
Yeah, first blood to Sinner in this tiebreak. We'll often see Karatsev sort of chatting away to himself, do you? Pretty level-headed.
Yeah, you wonder if just feeling the workload this week, you know, what he's already had to do, that perhaps with tiredness of mind, trying to find ways to handle it.
Yeah, I think we saw that at the start of the set, didn't we? It was a slightly sluggish start for Karatsev, and you have to feel that puts a greater importance for him on this tiebreak. Yeah. You know, trying to win this first set if he is feeling jaded. Very solid from Sinner so far, isn't it? 2 big first serves on his service points, ball in play, hitting big. He's playing it like it's the second game of the match.
I must correct myself. I think he said he played 2 tiebreaks this week. Just the one, of course, he's had prior to this one, which was against Bublik. Okay, that might be the release he needs, because having been 4-1 down in games, he's 4-1 down in the tiebreak now, and got a warning for his efforts there.
He got some distance on that, didn't he?
That might land in the pool.
Looks as if he's got some frustration out at the expense of a code violation, perhaps just in the nick of time.
So a change of ends, 4-2, second ace from Karatsev there. The Russian having the better of percentages on the first serve points won by some way, but lower by some way on the second serve points won. In terms of total points won, 40 points apiece. But crucially, Sinner with this mini break advantage at the moment.
Yeah, the mini break advantage and seemingly, you know, the momentum and the calmness. Big point here for Karatsev.
Certainly one of the things that defines the young Italian, that calmness. Can he carry it through from here to claim this tiebreak? It was nearly fantastic. He's just gone too far, wondering from his team by how much. A few inches beyond the baseline there. Everything else prior to that, Colin, was impeccable. Again, powerful.
Yeah, a great return to get himself into the point. Went against the grain there with it down the line, backhand back behind Karatsev, and he was only been a foot or so away from winning that point.
Manages to produce the big serve just to keep Karatsev at arm's length. Can he produce another to take himself to set points? Great serving, a brace of brilliance there from Sinner, and indeed the Italian now with 3 set points in this opener.
Yeah, it's magnificent from Jannik Sinner. What a solid tiebreak he's played to this point. I mean, it's just exactly what you're looking for. Once again, showing his rock-solid mentality.
That is way too good. That is world class from the Russian to fend off a set point in that way. He was under such pressure here.
Yeah, and once again he gets the reward for being willing to use a bit of width, open the court. He turned that point around beautifully.
So 2 set points saved on his serve, but now Sinner has the 3rd one on his own. Down the tee, but that time with too much. He remained patient. He didn't try to overpress there, and it's the Russian who has to concede the tiebreak in the end, pulling the trigger but misfiring wide. And Sinner with another set to his name this week in Dubai. He needs one more to reach the semi-finals. He takes that on the tiebreak, 7-5.
Well, what an intriguing set of tennis, and an intriguing tiebreak as well. Karatsev trying to battle back, just falling short. Played some good tennis, 18 winners. And he started to use a bit more width, variety towards the end of the set, but Sinner, once again, just showing us his his big-time mentality, really, in the tie-break, stepping up, delivering some big first serves, hitting the ball very cleanly, and staying as calm as he had throughout the whole set. There was no difference in his mentality or his tactics, clear decision-making, staying cool under pressure. Jannik Sinner, and you see how pumped he was to get over the line in that tie-break. He knows that could be a significant set, an hour and 1 minute of quality tennis. Karatsev by no means out of this, but he's going to have to dig deep if he's to make it through to the semi-final.
On they go with the Russian. Set down now. Got close, but not quite close enough.
Oh, what a return to kick things off in the second set. And this could be Sinner's big chance, you know, early in the second. Try and catch Karatsev cold again, possibly disappointed after the loss of the tie-break.
Somehow he made the return onto the line. You might have thought from there he would manage to come out with that point.
Yeah, Karatsev did well, actually, didn't he? Just to maintain his focus, because that return looked like it was out. In fact, it was out all the way until it landed.
There was so good from the Russian. Just an instinctive, awareness that that was the moment to press the accelerator, fire that backhand really hard.
He doesn't need a second invitation, does he, to pull the trigger and go big. A lot of power at his disposal, forehand and backhand. Certainly went after that return, just losing control.
pop on the ball from both men in that game. Ultimately, that rally, well done by the Russian. And as they change ends, just mark your card for what's coming up a little later. Men on the practice court today in anticipation of their match to come. Lloyd Harris, the gangly South African qualifier, has had such a great week. Took out top seed Dominic Thiem, followed that up well, but Kei Nishikori, the Japanese star, has had so many injuries to deal with, and on the way back from a whole spate of them in the last year or so, but he is getting in the groove, has won 3 matches in a row now this week, and that's been a while since that last happened. So they will be on the court, not before 7 p.m. local time. And it's currently just gone 6 o'clock in Dubai.
Intriguing match coming up, isn't it? Next one, Harris against Nishikori. Harris has played an awful lot of tennis. You know, coming from Doha, where he won some matches through qualifying here, he's kept his run going. Be interesting to see, you know, what he can produce. And also Nishikori, I mean, look at it, he's playing his 4th match in a week for the first time since Wimbledon 2019. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see how he handles. He has looked in good form, struggled to close a couple of matches out so far this week. I'm sure they'll be just keeping an eye on the score here, taking the bit of food on board, staying loose, ready to fire up when the time comes.
Yeah, and he's faced a variety of opponents this week. Of course, he had the towering Opelka to deal with, toppled him in the opening round. Then got the better of David Goffin, no less, before seeing off Bedene yesterday. Bedene, who has a pretty mean serve on him as well. I mean, uses it well, it's not the heaviest. Nishikori clearly taking delight in getting back-to-back wins and building something which has been a while from doing. As you said, 30 all. Sinner again just doing to the towel, just trying to compose himself. They had 1 break each in the first set. That's a tremendous split stride from Sinner to bring that ball from out wide and come out on top of the point.
And again, it's the calmness, you know, under pressure, being pulled to the extreme. You know, easy to just panic there and tap out of that point and make an error. Karatsev is trying to use the width again, isn't he? Open the court up. Majority of the first set, both players just playing through the court, sidelines rarely being broken.
Can't bring that one back. It really is widening this court now much better than he did certainly in the early stages, and as you say, for much of that set it was more centrally directed. And for taking too long, he got one of those yesterday as well. Yeah, he was referring to one yesterday when he was warned just as he was launching into the serve. And this time it has spilled over to a bit of verbal with the umpire. Break point.
Big second serve there. I took that one very close to the line. That was gutsy. Went big on it. Karatsev will still be disappointed not to make the return. It's a balancing act, isn't it? That kind of time violation for the umpire. Obviously, they start the clock once they've called the score, so it's therefore up to them when they call the score and start the clock. So it's not exact science. They try to allow for, you know, these big stadium courts, it's quite a long walk to get towels and things. That's why there's always a little bit of an argument, because there's that grey area around these judgment calls, if you like. And I think that the fact that Sinner was arguing with the umpire there, yes, there's frustration with being given the time violation, but I think it's more the discomfort being created by Karatsev, the pressure he's under.
Definitely
just coming to the fore, isn't it? I mean, Karatsev is really coming at him here.
Only managed to get 3 of his 9 first serves in this set. Just again so strong in character to go after the ball in that way under that stern examination at this point. Back to deuce again. Wow. Catching the line, I think.
A flash of brilliance from Karatsev. Once again, Sinner just not quite getting that wide serve wide enough or moving enough. It's not outside the doubles line there. You know, you want to get that short in the box, really swinging away. That was there to be hit. It was still a quality return, don't get me wrong.
And again, cometh the hour, as it were. Cometh this young man with another big serve to save another break point. Oh, sweetly done. That was a good round-the-corner attempt by Karatsev just to catch him out when he comes across for the backhand.
Yeah, it really was a nice little flick. Definitely an area for me where Sinner can continue to develop his game, is that ability to move forward and take advantage of on the big serve, the big hits from the back of the court. Shorten some points for himself. He's come forward 6 times so far in this match, won just 3 of them. It's not bad.
Again, it zips across, out of reach. And reminds us all of why this guy had such a great run in Melbourne. This kind of play.
The forehand cross-court becoming more and more of a feature, isn't it, for Karatsev? Fantastic width once again.
Double fault at this stage, that will irk him. And again, he's got to used the time allowed. Although he's not going to the towel for this one, he's coming back up, but can he again show us his mettle, save this one? Wow. Just remarkable ability to put that right into the corner as they rallied hard again. He's struggling at the moment with the serve. The percentage has dipped to 44% on first serve in this set. Of course, it's only this game, but what a game it's turning out to be, almost 10 minutes long now. Can he still find a way through? If he does, well, Karatsev then find it harder to deal with the match from there. That was very close.
He's going to challenge. Took something off the first serve there. It looked as if Karatsev found the baseline.
Sure did. Yesterday, Sinner toughed out the first set with Bautista Good. Had a bit of a lull early in the second of that one. Lost it, but came back to win, of course. He's made it. He's made some great forehands of late.
I'm not sure that was his cleanest of forehands, but the ball just enough spin on it to come down. In fact, it's a challenge from Sinner. Look at that, just on half on the baseline and right on the sideline. Can you believe it? He deserved the break though, didn't he? He was really like a dog with a bone. He just wouldn't let it go. Really wanted to get that game, and the longer it went on, you felt the more significant it could become. He's got a chance here just to put his foot on the gas. Karatsev.
Karanuni, no doubt from the chair that caught the line.
Yeah, felt like the right call as well to award the point to Sinner. I think Karatsev was asking the question, why not a let, but I'm pretty sure he'd missed that ball before the call came. It's going to be intriguing from this point onwards, you know, what Sinner can do, you know, to try and just reverse the momentum, because, you know, remember, he's 4-1 up in that first set. From that point, feels as if Karatsev has had the edge. I know Sinner able to play a very solid tiebreak and clinch the opening set, which could prove critical, but the balance of play since 4-1 feels like Karatsev has got to grips with this match. So what can Sinner do just to change things up? Can he bring some variety to his game? Maybe look to short a few points by coming in, possibly use some slice or a little bit more width, some changes of pace. It's going to be a test for him because Karatsev now is in a fantastic rhythm.
Another one long off that two-hander. 3-love to the Russian. In the first set, Sinner made only 8 unforced errors. He's already made 9 since then. He's definitely gone off the boil a bit, but this guy has come to the boil much more than we saw in the opening few games. Remember, he won, what, only 2 of the first 14 points of the contest.
Yeah, just 1 error for him in these opening 3 games. And remember, that second game, over 10 minutes, we played 29 points in total. So Karatsev is now in a fantastic rhythm. And like I say, what can Sinner do? That's what's going to be interesting, to try and shake him out of it. Or does he just keep going with, you know, the way he's been playing and hope that his level increases and Karatsev drops off? That's always a possibility. Karatsev will be feeling good about this match right now.
One of 2 Russians still very much part of this week's ATP 500 in Dubai, the other being Andrei Rublev, who will be in action tonight. The final match, what a match that might be, against the hard-hitting tough nut that is Marton Fucsovics. Rublev on this great run in the 500 series has now overtaken Andy Murray, second place on his own in terms of wins in the series consecutively with 22, 6 shy of Roger Federer's record set back in 2016. New balls for Sinner. We talk about this guy coming out of nowhere to some degree, but of course he did last year have very good runs in the challenges, have a couple of titles, won a bunch of matches there, so that was a kind of springboard for the next step for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, it has been
this year
a steady rise for Karatsev, it has to be said. It's not like he was stuck at, you know, a certain ranking. Finished last year just outside 100 in the world. And he was knocking on the door, made the last round of qualifying at Roland Garros, so there was a sense there that he was close to, you know, qualifying for his first Grand Slam. Qualified and won a round in Sofia, so tour level victory over a fellow qualifier, Taro Daniel, before losing to de Minaur 4 and 6, so that shows you he was playing, you know, a good level of tennis. Semis of a challenger in Ortisei in Italy just to finish the year, and then, well, 2021 just taken off, hasn't he? Absolute lift off.
And he's done a great job there just to bring that ball back, ask Sinner another question. It's turned into much more of a struggle than it first appeared to be for the Italian. And again, he's going to take that long walk back for his towel. Then take a look at the umpire to see when he started the shot clock, as if to say, well, OK, you warned me once, but you're not going to dare do that again.
Yeah, game of chicken with the umpire there. Any further time violation will be loss of first serve, of course. I definitely think it's an area for Sinner. I'm sure he'll be working on it with his team as he continues to develop, you know, the ability to add variety to his game, different ways of winning points, ability to come forward at times, ability to perhaps change paces.
Well, he's on the board. He's put a bit of a break on his opponent's rise in this second set. Yeah, net play, you think, because he constructs points so well that that is an area that ultimately you'll see, if he makes the improvements there, that he's going to do, you know, so much more with the game than he's already doing.
Yeah, I mean,
he's missed one in that last game. He just missed what seemed a routine forehand volley to knock off and put it in the net, and there have been a few of those today.
There's no doubt plan A, like I say, is very, very good. It's a high level. It's you know, big hitting, power tennis, physical, and you've got to be able to live with them, otherwise you're going to get blown away. Karatsev is doing that, and it's now just asking the question of Sinner, what else have you got, you know, to perhaps try and turn this one around.
He's been knocked off his stride, hasn't he, to some degree.
Every game has, you know, the same value on the scoreboard, but not every game has the same weight in terms of, you know, the momentum and ultimately the impact on the outcome of a match. That, you know, over 10 minutes second game of this set on the Sinner serve, where it was a titanic struggle, wasn't it? He's tried desperately to hold on, having won the first. Eventually Karatsev breaks through, and it just sets the tone. It still has set the tone. You can see Sinner just looking slightly flat, isn't he? Quite got the spring in his step and the pop in his shots, and Karatsev has gone on from there. He's looking nice and relaxed.
Trying to dictate it all from just behind his baseline. Okay, not done yet. solid, secure, in charge of this second set. He now leads this one by 4-1. Aslan Karatsev has had to wait a while in terms of his tennis career to really come to the fore in front of a global audience after what he achieved in Australia. He's obviously done that, and now looking to do it here in Dubai to try and reach just the second tour semi-final of his life, but of course playing a much younger man who's actually more experienced in that regard. They really have locked horns. It's fascinating at this stage to see whether the Russians' resurgence in this will be continued through to a final set and towards the win. We're just waiting to see whether Sinner can respond to it. Given a wild card into this prestigious event on the back of that great run in Melbourne, playing one of the 3 seeds still in contention in the last 8. Already Shapovalov has won through to tomorrow's semi-finals. Another excellent performance from the Canadian. He's the 3rd seed, Rublev the 2nd, but right now our focus on the 16th seed, Jannik Sinner, 1-4 adrift in this second set after just getting through the first.
Yeah, you feel as if Sinner needs to get himself re-energized here, get the intensity back up. He's up against it at this moment of the match. He's obviously a set to the good, but remember Karatsev, slightly sluggish start to the match, went 4-1 down in that opening set. So yeah, if you discount the tie-break where Sinner was solid, Karatsev would wish he'd played a better tie-break. If you discount that, it's 9-3 in games since Karatsev got going.
Yes.
You know, it's a significant advantage.
Oh, how superb was that? Just to flick it back, the strength in that forearm.
Yeah, he didn't have time for anything more. Just the wrist and the hand and the forearm, as you say. It's all starting to go for him now, Karatsev.
Changing conditions as this match has worn on, obviously now with dusk descending on Dubai, lights switched on. The chatter of the birds once again.
That's a cheap couple of errors there from Karatsev. Off 30, 2-second serve returns missed. Yeah, day becoming night. Things just start to cool off, don't they, in the desert air? That'll affect the conditions, slow things down slightly. All won't be quite as lively off the court.
That is his 3rd ace of this second set. He leads that category. 7-3 for the match. And a bit more punch there as he tries now to pump himself up a bit more internally, one would imagine. He doesn't give much away emotionally. You can really see it in the eyes, though, how he might be feeling. 4-2 lead for Karatsev currently. Bigger, better.
And the fist pump is back. So after a lull, Sinner just starting to grow into it again. 2-3 setters, remember, to get to this quarter-final. I'm sure he'd love to find a way back into this second set, get it done in straights if he can.
It zips through. Again on the angle.
That's just a magnificent shot from Karatsev. He's under pressure here. Sinner has actually, got him off balance outside the singles line. He took advantage of the width and once again shows how strong he is, even when pushed wide.
Well, a hint of a smile despite the frustration, and you can see he's just thinking, why is that shot not going right now? Their account obviously much higher in this set from the Italian than it was in the first.
Contrasting emotions, isn't it? Point to point for Sinner.
Yeah.
There's the sarcastic, almost remonstrating with his team, and then the fist pump. But for more of the fist pumps, I'm sure.
What will it be after this one? This could be a key moment here. Can he find something special? Ball keeping low from Karatsev's strike. Sinner not able to deal with that. And look, suddenly suggestion that the effort is taking a bit of a toll.
Yeah, the mentality has gone down, hasn't it? He's gone flat. He's getting a little bit negative, and it's amazing how you then start to feel more tired physically when you allow those thoughts to creep in.
Karatsev, the dominant force since the tiebreak, 5-2. He'll close in shortly on this set, it would seem. Looked a bit out of sorts when he arrived for this start of this match, the way he initially struggled to get going, but he's definitely the more comfortable at this stage. And if Sinner is in the kitchen, as he described it, he's a bit further away from the oven right now, isn't he?
Yeah, Karatsev, he's a big heavy diesel engine, isn't he? Once he got it going, he's going to take some stopping here. Got the bit between his teeth again. Threatening a deciding set against Jannik Sinner for
the Italian, the importance right now of just trying to hold this serve so that even if the set goes away in a couple of games, he'll then start with his own serve, start this final set on his terms if he can. The noise of the birds in the gardens around. Imagine the noise there would be were we to have a full house here. Hopefully next year the fans will be able to return. Just focusing on getting the first serve ticking over so that he can take that into a deciding set, if nothing else. And he aces another one. Much better from him so far in this game. Back at him, that central route that we saw so much of in the first set.
Yeah, and the match still, even though we're at a critical juncture in the second set, still feels like a slight lull, doesn't it, compared to where we were in the first set. The intensity, it was going to be tough to maintain that. So they're just going to get through this game. That's the question of Karatsev, at least to serve out the set. And you never know, possibly capitalise on some nerves.
Does what's required there, so he has managed to make that hold a good one for him. But it will be the Russian now lining up to try and finish off this second set.
Yeah, Sinner now needs to just dig deep, try and make everything he can get a racket on, get himself into the game, win one of the first 2 points. If he were to break here, comes very, very close to the finish line. What can Karatsev bring? And I think that reaction from Karatsev tells you, just feel a little, well, he's not wearing a collar, but hot under the collar, isn't he? Some tension. A fist pump from Sinner. This could be an interesting game here. Fantastic return, so he's done even better than you would have hoped. He's won both the first 2 points.
Again, it's just a super shot off that backhand, isn't it?
Yeah, that's just, you put that down to confidence for me, you know, to go that big on that shot at love 30. That's just a guy that's been used to winning matches to start your year. You know, a less confident player would just be, you know, making that one back and play cross court. Big hit.
That was sloppy. Short on the return and into the net with the next shot.
14 unforced errors for Sinner in this second set. It's been his undoing to this point.
Easing one back up the line. Time for the Russian to take the set. Rasping forehand and then a backhand winner to seal it. Got an excellent response from Russia's wildcard, Aslan Karatsev. It's his set by 6 games to 3. One more required for both of them. And he's done it plenty this year already. And he's showing us again his steel as Sinner takes a slow walk off the court to try and regroup, pump himself up again.
Yeah, I think that's wise from Sinner. He'll be disappointed, and as a result, he looks to be feeling, you know, more tired than he might perhaps otherwise be. Karatsev has the greater firepower. You can see these numbers are actually total. The 5 break points, that colossal second game of the set that ultimately decided it. He was able to clinch it, Karatsev, and he's been on top since getting going 4-1 down in that first set. What can Sinner do to change his fortunes in this decider?
Trying to keep loose, stiffen up at this stage, having played a very fine second set, waiting for the return of Jannik Sinner. There's a look at the Sinner second serve placement, Colin, with figures from that side of things for him.
Yeah, we discussed that, haven't we? Just, you know, plan A is big and powerful, but there's not a huge amount of variety at this stage of his career. And you see the vast majority of serves going into the body and the body backhand, so you know, Karatsev's able just to stand and wait for it. It's got decent pace on it. You know, a lot of them are around 160 kilometers an hour, but you'd like to see Sinner at times maybe slide it out wide on the juice. Djokovic so successful that, or even go for a shorter kicker just to bring a bit of variety in the contact point for Karatsev on the return. And it's just one example of the future development, the future improvements, which I think is a huge positive for Sinner, because look how good he is already without that. His power game, his plan A is magnificent. He's already 32 in the world. These are the things I think he'll work with his team, and the intricacies, and add them in and start to understand things over time. It just, with the same technique, the same shots essentially, it just starts to matter more and more as you've got the levels. Not necessarily how you hit the ball, but where you hit the ball and when you do it, and keeping your opponents guessing. And we see a significant delay here, but Karatsev, it's almost been played into a really nice rhythm, hasn't he? Once he got going from 4-1 in that first set, Sinner having had a break, I'm sure he just also had a little word with himself in the mirror. Time to knuckle down here, especially start the third, really get it going. He's still well capable of winning this match. It's going to be an interesting first 3 or 4 games to this set. Could really set the tone.
And he did come back yesterday after losing the second set against Bautista Agut to win that one. The third match running for him, and indeed for his opponent. They will have to go the distance.
That body second serve from Sinner. Karatsev knows what's coming. Disappointed to make the error in the point. Big first couple of service games in particular for Sinner. He's just got it, at the very least, just keep holding serve. Fell behind early in the second and never able to recover.
Wing is leaky right now. The error's coming from the ball. It comes low down to him.
He just wasn't making these errors in the first set, was he? He was energized, he was hitting big, he was consistent. It's a dangerous moment here for Jannik Sinner.
Beautifully taken, the hefty cross-court forehand that was so tough for Sinner to try and defend. And he's already been stretched out here before this shot. Just relentless pressure applied through the point by the Russian. Break point. Keen eyes eyeing up the chance here. Again, the focus. Wonderful. Again, top draw stuff from this determined, dogged Russian. And he has caught hold of that absolutely sweetly out of the strings there, right out of the sweet spot. And it must be feeling even better now. More momentum for him.
Well, what a hit to secure the break. But a disastrous start for Sinner, really, to this third set, having led 30-love. He took the break from the court after losing the second, but he's come back out and not really been able to kick-start his game again. Made just 1 out of 6 first serves in that game and won 1 out of 5 of the second serve points. There's the winning forehand. That's as crisp a hit as you'll get, right through the line of the shot. And we've seen that reaction a few times in 2021, haven't we? And we may well see it again this week. He's now got the ball in his racket, so to speak. Break up in the decider.
No holding back there from either of them. Muscling the ball.
Extra from Sinner, wasn't it? Trying to do something to reverse his fortunes here. It's been a slow and steady decline, unfortunately, hasn't it? He went big.
Maybe being stung into a response now from Sinner's point of view. Sinner then creating something here. He really worked hard across the back of the court, got all his shots back in play. Karatsev making the error and now facing 2 breakback points here for the Italian. Wow, that just smoked up the line when it seemed like he'd been caught out with the angled return.
And again, it's just the confidence flowing through him. Karatsev pulled outside the doubles line here, facing a break point, and just no hesitation, was there? Still another break point, though, for Sinner.
And it's his angled forehand in the end that does get the break back. Well, that's some response from him. He's been in the doldrums for some time.
Yeah, brilliant from Sinner. He's back in it. Wondered what kind of, perhaps changing tactics or variety he would bring. And there wasn't any there. He just injected more pace. He really upped the ante. He's found a way to break through. It's fantastic stuff from Jannik Sinner. Got to keep it going in this game now. Keep your foot on the gas. Take the game to Karatsev. Got to find that first serve again. He's just lost the rhythm. Legs perhaps getting a little heavy in the third set.
Again, the movement not quite there to the ball as it needed to be. So yeah, 1 out of 7 first serves only so far from him in this set.
Yeah, it's usually a surefire sign that the legs are getting a bit heavy, not quite driving up to the ball. Coordination starts to suffer slightly. Of course, the serve, a highly coordinated shot. That's a good one there, but it came back with some interest, didn't it?
And we have to remember he is only 19, and although obviously he, is very fit, works very hard, but you think of other players, I can think, Andy Murray, who had to work on his fitness at this age. It was found out a little bit at times, and he obviously did put in the work and became a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah, it's not too dissimilar a build, is it? 6'2", similar height, quite gangly at this stage. I'm sure he'll continue to get stronger and stronger, especially in the legs. And that'll happen just through maturation and playing at this level, of course, but he'll be working on it as well. Not too many stronger players than Karatsev, is there?
No. Oh, it's a remarkable get this time, perhaps the toughest volley he's had to make, and he manages to do it. He's got a pretty good wingspan, and that was something special. I mean, he just manages to get enough on this, and then it backspins towards the net.
Yeah, because he was at absolute end range, full stretch. The ball just coming off the racket with intense backspin, just because of that flick he had to make just to catch up with the ball at the very last split second. Moment of inspiration from Sinner here.
And it helps him through a challenging game. But he has turned up in the final set, having gone off track in the second. He's in the lead again, just 2-1. Think of that volley. We've talked about the volleying, the need to work on that. He no doubt will be all areas of his game as he still strives to hone his skills, and they are plenty. But that could be an absolutely crucial one that he made there to help him through that last game. Been at the net on 10 occasions. He's managed to win just 50% of those points. Karatsev only there 4 times, but has won on all 4 visits. Has the makings of a pulsating, deciding set, our second quarter-final to be concluded. The next part of our coverage here, and of course still 2 more quarters to come. Lloyd Harris, the South African qualifier, will be up next against Kei Nishikori, the Japanese star, getting back into a tournament's rhythm with successive wins this week, 3 of them. And then Marton Fucsovics, who's been another marathon man of the week. 3 hard-fought wins in 3 sets to get his rematch with Andrei Rublev, the man who beat him in a tight 2-set battle in the final in Rotterdam recently to extend his winning run, of course, in the 500 series. Those matches still to come. Plenty to enjoy there, no doubt, but plenty more to admire, one would imagine, from these two.
I think Sinner deserves a lot of credit for the way he was able to dig deep in the previous two games. You know, when he lost that opening service game of this set, you feared for him, didn't you? You think this could run away from him, but showed a solid resolve, and it's now Karatsev that has to respond.
First double for him in this set. That's his fourth in total. And that was loose. Suddenly lacking, and yeah, Sinner somehow is getting into a stronger position now. Sinner didn't catch his cleanly, but that clearly gone way long from Karatsev.
What a turnaround here, and just a complete momentum swing out of nowhere.
It's one of those fine serves that is unplayable. But he's still not out of the woods yet.
Could be a significant moment.
Yeah.
And this match, you know, we now know that neither player is going to significantly vary what they're trying to do out here on the court. And you know, it's coming down to a case of, you know, mentally who can stay the toughest. I think it's clear that both of them slightly jaded physically from previous battles, and you know, now been on the court for well over 2 hours. Who's going to
beautiful closure, isn't it, on the point there, working his way in.
Yeah, just the fifth time he's come forward. He's won all 5 of them, but it's going to be a case of who can, you know, dig the deepest, stay mentally the toughest, execute the shots.
Battle of wills and skills.
Got nice and close to the net there, didn't he? Made that volley as simple as possible for himself.
Two all, toe to toe.
It's a better swinger there from Sinner, shorter in the box. You can see the ball well outside the doubles line when it passed Karatsev.
Two all, 15 all, 1 set all, 4 double faults each. The young man struggling again on his serve.
Yeah, we've had another swing here, haven't we, after Karatsev saw off those 2 break points. It's a turbulent deciding set here.
Not the youngest quarterfinalist there's been in Dubai. The 4th youngest, but Nadal, the very youngest, back in 2004. Rafa was just 17 then. Sinner thumping the thighs, wanting those legs to move. They're not doing as they did as well. And it's more break points for him now.
Staying on the deuce side, although the umpire's convinced him that this one's going to have caught a piece of the line.
It is another breakthrough, and growing frustration again for the Italian teenager as he falls behind once more in the score. 3-2 Karatsev.
Yeah, and that had a potentially more significant feel to it than the break in the opening game of the set, didn't it? Sinner looking pretty down and out. There's no doubt that physically he's feeling it. I think the legs have perhaps hit a wall. He's struggling to, you know, drive up on the serve and not quite as sharp in his movements on the baseline. He looks pretty tired there, doesn't he? Getting the water on board. But you just got to try and tell yourself mentally that, yes, you're tired. Yes, you're feeling it, but, you know, you're in the 3rd set. You could be, oh, it's 4 great games away from, you know, placing the semi-finals here. Just dig deep, give it everything you've got before, you know, the match is over. Karatsev, he'll be looking for a much better service game than the one he played. 1-love in this set. Once again into a winning position, the Russian.
Physical and mental strength, certainly features of Aslan Karatsev as we get to know him more and more. At this level though, I mean, it's still, he's a novice in terms of the amount of matches he's played on the main tour. And the 12 wins, just 12 I should say, and there's no disgrace in that. It's just that it's only come in recent times for him, but they've already got him to the semi-finals of a Grand Slam. Are they going to get him another one to the semi-finals of this ATP 500 event? No way out of that for Sinner. Big serve, big follow-up shot, and the third one is just as good. Too strong. Perfect play. Had to stretch so far to his left. Sinner has to then come back to cover anything in that big space to his right, and of course the back behind play winning comfortably for Karatsev there. Must feel he's approaching the home straight, if not on it already, kicking for it. Well, it's looking more and more likely now for the Russian.
I think it's worth noting that, you know, we talked about both players' routes to this stage, both having 3 setters in the previous 2 matches, but Sinner's third round win against Bautista Agut, I mean, that's as physical as it gets. The Spaniard is an absolute warrior from the baseline. At 19 years of age, it wouldn't be surprising if that had taken a significant amount out of him. Has to come back again the very next day and play a tough 3-setter, a heavyweight contest with Aslan Karatsev. Just looks as if it's catching up with him in this 3rd set. It's always relevant, you know, the game style of players you face. You know, a 3-setter against Riley Opelka can be very different to a 3-setter against Roberto Bautista Agut. Yeah, that was a tough one for him to come through, a really big win for him.
Wow, spectacular tennis from Karatsev again, and he's proving himself something of an Iron Man out here.
Yeah, we just caught a glimpse at the end of this fantastic point from Karatsev of Sinner just doubled over. That was just brilliant tennis from the man who's lighting up the tour in 2021. We're getting used to seeing that war cry and fist pump, aren't we? There he is, Sinner. No doubt he's feeling it.
There's a bit of a wobble there. Is he cramping, I wonder?
Yeah, and that previous point from Karatsev is actually won him 2 points in the end. Sinner, nothing left to play that one.
Well, these are virtual match points, it feels, at this stage. Sinner on his last legs almost. A man who's taken out 2 seeds already, can he beat a 3rd one in a row here? The odds are stacking up on his side, very much in his favour now. Italian coming forward there, just going centrally, saying, OK, what have you got? Can he think his way out of this trouble? What a counter that was. You see Sinner giving it a real lash with the forehand. He absorbs all of that here. And then the next shot, spectacular again off this Russian forehand, rasping into the corner. Break point the Russians had on the Sinner serve today. And that breaks him for a 5th time. And all but wins the match for the Russian, the wild card. What a turnaround it's been. He'll take time and then come out to try and finish it off.
He's just grown in strength throughout the match, hasn't he? Karatsev, unfortunately for Sinner, just run out of gas. Did what he could to hang on in that game. But it now looks as if it's going to be Aslan Karatsev just continuing his... That's a bit of a fairy tale story, isn't it? 2021, semi-finalist in Australia in his first ever Grand Slam main draw, the only man to ever do that in the Open era. He's now a game away from his first ATP 500 semi-final.
Just a great look, staring it down the ball, attacking it with amazing force. Lining up the bottles one more time. Got it all lined up now to take his place in a semi-final for the 2nd time this year, to follow up the brilliant run in Melbourne, to do it here in Dubai on debut. Almost as spectacular as that image. Karatsev, the way he has up the ante, really improved his level, raised it and maintained it pretty much since he was 1-4 down in the opening set. Here he is now, 5-2 up in the 3rd. Again, Sinner just shaking the leg a bit after that brief point against him.
Yeah, I'm sure his team and DT will be taking stock after this and recognising that there's a body of physical work to be done. I think just wonder if they'll also look at it tactically as well and think, okay, we do just need to build in a little bit extra to the game, and maybe the ability when you are tired to shorten points, come forward. Those types of things. I think this has been an intriguing match for Sinner. Off the back of that fantastic win against Bautista Agut, like we say, that must have taken a lot out of him. But that's the nature of the sport. You know, you've got to back it up day after day, don't you? And come through these really tough matches and then play again the next day, especially when you think Grand Slams, best of 5. Yeah. Yes, you get the day in between, but you know, that's going to be an area he's going to look to build and have to build if he wants to reach the very summit in the sport.
Clobbers one into the corner. Again, it was the serve out wide, and the way he changed tack, didn't he, in that first set? Started to get width into the exchanges much more, get the angles, apply them, and with all the good play since then, he's now got himself 2 match points to make the semi-finals. It's being challenged. He's looking, wondering, did it catch the line?
Isn't it?
They both wait to see the outcome. That'll do it, and he's through it in some style. That is a hard-fought win for Karatsev. I think it's a phrase we use about him plenty this year and in the future, no doubt, but he has come through another battle and he's turned that one around. 6-7, 6-3, 6-2.
Well, another fantastic win for Karatsev, and a growing list of fantastic wins for him in 2021. The wild card through to the semi-finals. Now, Sinner, we'll see plenty more of this young man as his career develops. Just ran out of steam, unfortunately. He played some brilliant stuff, as he always did. It was a real heavyweight contest, both players bringing significant power to the court from the back of the court, and it was like you say, Karatsev's ability maybe just to open things up slightly more, and once he got going from that 4-1 deficit in the first set, he really was on top of this match. Aslan Karatsev finished it strongly, and he'll wait for the winner of Fucsovics and Andrei Rublev. You can see the extra power he had. 21 winners on the forehand to 3 for Sinner, 41 in total for the Russian, and he kept the unforced errors lower as well. So, you know, those two numbers alone just represent the advantage he held. Very successful coming forward. Did it just 7 times. Something he could possibly add to his game as well, the ability to move forward and finish off after some of those huge ground shots that he produces. Sinner's legs just taken from under him really in that third set. First serve percentage started to suffer as a result. 2 hours 29 minutes of big hitting tennis, and it's Karatsev that's into the semis.
And we can hear from him now.
Aslan, congratulations into your second semi-final of your career of this year. What was it that you had to do to turn that around after the first set, after that tie-break?
Well, from the beginning, thank you very much for the congratulations. From the beginning, it was tough to get used to the rhythm. He's playing so fast. He's really talented guy. He's a top player, and yeah, it took me time to get to the rhythm. And then in the tiebreak, it was unlocked a bit. And then the second set, I start to feel better, more comfortable. Start to reading more the game and how to play against him. And yeah, I felt comfortable in the second, third set.
It felt a little bit as if once you found that rhythm, that was quite a good matchup for you, and it worked to your advantage, did it? Did you enjoy that match?
Yeah, of course. I played well. I mean, I cannot say from the beginning I was like not full energy, I would say. And yeah, the match was really good. I played well, moving well. I was full energy in the second and third set. So yeah.
Second semi-final, as I said, after the Australian Open, now in Dubai. What does all of this mean to you at this point in your career?
Of course, I'm super happy to play Australia here, semis, and yeah, I'll keep working, keep improving every day, practicing, and then we will see.
We'll see you in the semi-finals. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Do you mind if we do?
There he is, as a wild card into the semi-finals here in Dubai. Shapovalov already through as well. 2 more matches to come, of course. Shouldn't forget that Sinner's got to go and play doubles later on today. I don't know if he'll have strength left for that, but we, of course, have 2 more matches coming up for you, and what matches they might prove to be as well. Kei Nishikori, 3 wins back-to-back this week. Lloyd Harris, the man in his path this evening. They've never faced each other before. Andrei Rublev, sparkling run in 500 series on a 22-match win streak currently. But can Marton Fucsovics, who's played such fine tennis, battle throughout 3 long matches already this week, stop the Russian tonight? You will find out with our remaining coverage of those quarterfinals coming up.